Aloha, it's Dave Lawrence. How are you? Big mahalo for joining us, and I hope everything is good with you. I'm grateful you're taking time for this. Today we're welcoming a distinctive guest who, with Roy Rogers, has no less than 4 big shows on the table, and since we're the only statewide radio station, one of these shows bound to be nearby, February 6th in Lihue at the KCC Performing Arts Center, Feb 7 Irish Rose Saloon in Honolulu, Feb 8 at the historic Iao Theater, and February 9th in Hilo at the Palace. Translucent Blues, the project of recorded music that he has with Roy. Fans may recall what may be this artist's last in-concert appearance in the islands, 2005, came in the same year with 2 differently named post-Doors projects, sharing the same lineup, I believe. Doors of the 21st Century played Pipeline March that year, Riders on the Storm at the Waikiki Shell in December. I'm grateful to speak again with a certified rock and roll Hall of Famer, a music legend, an eternally cool dude, I might add, who we offer a big aloha and mahalo to. It's Ray Manzarek. Aloha,
Thank you,
Ray.
Dave. Thank you, my friend.
You're welcome, brother. Good to talk to you again.
Good to talk to you.
And that was, am I right or am I wrong? Was that the last time you ventured our way?
Yeah, that's right. Played the Honolulu Bowl.
Right.
Or the band Shell.
Right, the Waikiki Shell, like the Hollywood Bowl.
Waikiki, right. And played it for a Japanese, some kind of Japanese party or of people who had come to hear Jake Shimabukuro.
Right.
And just dug him, of course. And he's a magnificent ukulele player.
Monster.
And then we started to play, and little by little they started walking out. Gosh darn, all to heck. And then somebody said, oh, pay no attention to that. What do you mean pay no attention, man? The audience is walking out 2 by 2, they filed out. I'm going to bring you 2 by 2. And there they go, filing out. But it was just the whole language thing. They had enough, and they didn't want to hear an American rock and roll band. So... Hey, we're going to play Light My Fire. Light My Fire. Can you wait a second? No, sorry, man. We're going to go get something to eat. They got the bento boxes for us. So.
They were out getting Lau Lau, one of your favorites.
Oh, Lau Lau. God, I love Lau Lau. You know what? We've actually got a Hawaiian place not far from us. 10 minutes, 15 minutes away. And it's pretty good. They don't have Lau Lau. That's too esoteric for the States, but the mainland. But they do have Kalua pig with cabbage.
Can you still remember getting Lau Lau your first time?
First time, I don't know, but I used to get it all the time, every time we went to Honolulu at the Poi Bowl. The Poi Bowl and the chili water. Said, you got any hot sauce? They said, no, we got chili water. Well, yeah, give me some of that. Boy, was it good. Holy cow. Lau Lau and rice and chili water. You're set. And a Hawaiian sun. You are set.
I always remember you dug the Lau Lau. And,
good eating, man.
Previous times when I got the good pleasure of talking with Brother Ray. And those were some special shows that you did back then. And now you're coming on a whole different tip. And
this is going to be great. Yeah, we're doing Roy Rogers as a brilliant slide guitar player. And we've got the guys that recorded the album. So it's there's 4 of us: drums, bass, guitar, and keyboards. And we're going to be doing our new CD, Translucent Blues, and it's like 21st century blues. It's blues, but it's got the blues foundation, but it's not technically 1-4-5 12-bar blues progression. Progressions are a little, the chord changes go in a little bit of a different direction, but it's all blues, man. It's blues, it's hard, and it's rocking.
What got you together with him to do this?
Well, he's such a great guitar player, and he happens to have the same agent that I do. Steve Gordon, who's down in Central America now, was booking Roy and Roy's band, and it was booking me as a sort of a solo artist, going around and telling stories about Jim Morrison's debauchery, which everyone wants. Tell us about his. Tell us what he did dirty, Ray. We want to hear dirty. You want to hear about the poetry? No poetry. You want to hear about the song construction? Maybe, but first dirty. Tell dirty, Ray. So that's what I was doing, except not allowing them to have fulfillment in their need of dirty Jim Morrison stories. So anyway, Steve at one point said, hey, why don't you get together with Roy? He's a blues cat. You're a blues cat. I'm from Chicago. Grew up on the south side of Chicago. Didn't leave till I went out to UCLA. graduated from DePaul University in Chicago and then went out to UCLA. And so I love the blues. And Roy's a great blues player. I'm a good blues player. And we got together, and it hit us right off and started playing all kinds of weird stuff, little Eric Satie classical kind of things. We played something from Miles Davis' Sketches of Spain, one of the things that Bill Evans had done, Gil Evans, the great arranger. And we played some ballads and then some boogies, and the boogies were so good, everybody said, more boogie, that we said, well, let's just get to work here, and let's do a whole CD of rock-ass kickin' rock.
And it really is. Manzarek-RogersBand.com. Fans can hear samples of the material, which includes, ironically, a title that when you and I were speaking, it was back in 2005, we were at the Kahala Hotel having a little conversation, and you were working on a song at the time. You quoted some of it to me, and it was River of Madness, and ironically, there it is on this record.
How about that, man? Yeah, those are lyrics by Warren Zevon.
Right.
A river of madness running through L.A., a river of sadness deep inside the clay soil of L.A. and Southern California. Yeah, it's a good one, man.
What's special about that, of course, is we lost that great gentleman, and you were fortunate enough to come along those lyrics. In what way? Tell that story.
I'm at a clothing store called Barney's. There's Barney's Beanery and Barney's the clothing store. So I'm at Barney's, and in walks Warren Zevon. Hey, Warren, what's happening, man? Hey, Ray, how you doing? And I said, I'm doing great, brother. How about you? And he said, well, I'm not doing so good. I said, oh, what's wrong? He said, well, tell you the truth, I'm dying. I was like, what?
Wow.
That's seriously not doing so well. He said, yeah, I've only got 6 months to live. I said, what? He said, yep, lung cancer. But, I'm going full bore until I exit the planet. And I said, well, I'm working on some blues material with a friend, Roy Rogers, slide guitar player, and just wondered if you had any lyrics. That's what I really wanted to hit you up about. And he said, well, I do. He said, what are you looking for? I said, I'm looking for something like Raymond Chandler, Dark, Los Angeles, one of those film noir movies from the 1940s. He said, I know exactly what you're talking about, man. He said, give me a little bit of time. I'll try to fit it in. I'm working on my final album. I said, oh, don't say that. He said, hey, listen, I'm used to it. I know I'm going to die, and that's all there is to it. And as we all are, I just know when mine is coming, which may be an advantage or maybe a disadvantage.
Right.
It might be a good thing. You got 6 months to live. All right, live your life to the fullest. Do your art, maybe do a couple of other things, and make love to your loved ones, and eat good, drink good, and boom, exit the planet. So he wrote 2 stanzas for River of Madness running through L.A., and that's all he was able to get to me. And then Roy and I took it and worked with another guy and added some verses to it about the darkness of the hills of Los Angeles, and it came out great, man. It's a real powerful piece of music.
Yes.
And then we got Michael McClure doing Kick. Michael McClure is a beat poet. He was around from the beginning with the beatnik movement, and he's got one about wrote one about kicking the white powder habit. Roy and I put the music to it. So basically, what we did is we took great lyrics by different poets. Jim Carroll, Basketball Diaries, and some really, really good stuff by a small group of poets and people that I know, and we made music to it. And so the music and the poetry go together to make really good listening, if I do say so myself.
And you should. It's such a high-quality record. I've been enjoying it myself. When you think about your relationship with Warren, had you guys ever done anything prior to that?
No, that was our first thing. I mean, we'd passed each other on the street and met each other here and there and said hello at a concert or something. So, we knew each other, but we never worked together before, which is a shame. But at least we got River of Madness in.
Yeah, at least you got to do that. Now that's as opposed to Michael McClure. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys did like a Shanachie. I remember you've done.
Yeah. Michael McClure and I have worked together, right?
Right, for a while. I remember in college grooving on some of that. So in some of these cases, it's relationships you've had for a while. In other cases, it's new ones.
Yeah, it's out of the blue, right? It was just like very lucky. And McClure I've known for, God, I don't know, long time. Jim Morrison knew him before me. And I met him through Jim, and then Jim passes on, and Michael and I hook up again, maybe a decade after Jim went into the ether and started working together. And he reads his poetry, and I play the piano behind his poetry. So it's like an evening of beatnik poetry, but it's not exactly beatnik poetry and jazz. I'm playing his poetry. I have it in front of me, and as he's reading, I'm interpreting his poetry musically rather than just laying down a groove and blowing, as they say, behind him.
You're the guy to be doing that too. Now, I didn't know that he introduced, or that Jim introduced you to him. Can you still remember that?
Yeah. We were in the third recording session, as Michael likes to say, of the third album. We were doing "Waiting for the Sun," and Jim came in with this long-haired, not more like a cowboy guy, like Custer, like Custer's Last Stand, kind of, or a more mature, more handsome Billy the Kid, kind of Western kind of guy. Because Billy the Kid was a weird little mousy little guy. William Bonney, as he pictures him, you think that's the killer. Boy, thank God they had guns for those guys. Otherwise, what was he going to do? Scare you to death if he didn't have a gun? Yeah, I'm Billy the Kid. So what, man? You're ridiculous. Anyway, so McClure came in with Jim, and we were in the middle of the recording session, and then we got to talking, and, hit it off, and one thing led to another.
What a cool thing to carry that with you. It makes me think, when I think of Roy Rogers, you've worked with so many unique folks, especially one time having Jim Morrison as the lead singer of the band. What makes working with somebody like Roy unique? What do you think when you look at him in the context of all the different kinds of unique cats?
We just played last Saturday, and
cool.
We'll be playing for you guys there 4 nights in a row. And I just watch him play, man. It's like, holy cow! Look at that guy go! Look at him play. You don't think of anything else or anything other than the song you're playing, and how funky and powerful that slide, that bottleneck that he's got on his finger is going all over the damn place, man. He's really a great guitar player and just a real soulful, down-home cat.
How much of his Delta Rhythm Kings catalog gets part of the set list? What is the set list precisely?
Well, just a couple. We do one or two of his Delta Rhythm Kings, but all the rest of it is our stuff. It's all our stuff. It's all translucent blues. That's what you're going to hear. That and a couple of Doors songs.
Oh, there are? Okay, that's what I was at. So you mix it a little.
Throw in a couple of Doors songs. If you go hear Ray Manzarek and he doesn't play anything from the Doors, I don't want a drink thrown in my face. We came to hear Doors songs, and you didn't play any. So I will play a couple of Doors songs.
That's a great point, though. And on that, is it more like an obligation, Ray? Because it must be tough to be able to step away from a legacy like that and be like, I did that. Now I'm coming with Roy. Kind of dig what I'm doing now. Do you feel like obligated? You got to get it in there.
Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. Rachmaninoff had a piece, classical great pianist and composer. Rachmaninoff had a piece called The Bells, Prelude in C-sharp minor. I learned how to play that. Not knowing, it was one of the things my teacher said, you got to learn how to play this. It goes, dum, dum, bum, bum, da, 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 dum, 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 da, 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 dum, et cetera, et cetera. He had to play that every time he played a concert. That was his encore number. If he did not play that at a concert, at every single concert, the audience would be on the verge of a riot. They love that piece of music so much that he had to play it. And he said to an interviewer, after 10 years of playing, he said, I'm sick of the piece. and I have to play it. Every time I do a concert, I have to play it. Well, fortunately, I can vary my Doors song, so I don't have to play Prelude in C sharp minor
every
single time.
Right.
So when you're a musician, that's what happens. You're in the audience, you're listening to the piece of music, you know the piece of music, and you're seeing the person play it live. How cool is that, man? So, I always put myself in the audience's place, and watching as if I were watching. So I do a solo rendition of Crystal Ship.
Oh, wow.
And the guys leave the stage, lights come down, and I just play a solo version of just piano, pure piano, Crystal Ship, dedicated to Jim and to Pam. And it's a great moment, and it just feels so great, and the audience just loves it. I love doing it, so we have a great time.
I like how you have that respect for the folks who keep your live endeavors going by way of knowing that you got to do what you just said. You have to.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. You're lucky. You're lucky as an artist. You're lucky that the people want to hear it. As a composer, you're lucky the audience actually knows the piece and wants to hear the piece.
Yeah, totally. As I wrap it up with you, when you do a literal lifetime of live music for a living, does your perception of individual past gigs change? And are you able to at all maintain memories of specific concert highlights, or does it just become kind of a fog?
Of course, some of it is. You can't possibly stuff all that stuff into your brain pan. But yeah, highlights. I've got highlights all over the place, man. I've got highlights from the London Fog, that little place we played on the Sunset Strip before we even got to the Whiskey A Go-Go. Learning how to play, the four of us working it all out on stage at some place, a little boîte, a little nightclub that nobody came into. We had complete freedom. Had to play 5 sets a night. And we just tried everything. The end developed from a little love song into the 11.5-minute epic that it became. Music's overdeveloped its length. All of it took place at this little place, and nobody came in. There'd be at any one time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in the place for the most part. There'd be the owner, bartender, the waitress, the go-go girl, lovely Rhonda Lane, and the 4 Doors, 4, 5, 6, 7, and Dorothy, my wife, my girlfriend at the time, Dorothy. So 8 people were there. And then 2 businessmen would come in looking for the action. There was no action. They'd hang around, hear a song or two, they'd leave. 5 minutes after that, 2 prostitutes would come in looking for the businessmen. And you wanted to say, hey, they just left. Go get them. Then the sailors would come in looking for the prostitutes. And the prostitutes were gone. So people would be missing each other eternally in that place. But, man, we worked out all our music. And then we got hired to go to the Whiskey A Go-Go by Ronnie Herron. She came down. She was the booker at the Whiskey A Go-Go, which was just up the street, half a block up the street, and right on the corner. And it was Mecca. It was where everybody played. Jimi Hendrix, first gig in America, the Whiskey A Go-Go. Mothers of Invention were there, Van Morrison and them. That was our first double bill. It was them and the Doors, Van Morrison and Jim Morrison, on the same stage for a week. God, was that amazing. And we finished off the whole thing with doing Gloria.
Can you remember Van Morrison appreciating the majesty of Jim?
No, he was in his own world. I don't think he... But I do like the way you say that, the majesty of Jim. Jim would love to hear that. That's correct. That's correct. I am majestic. I am a majestic individual. I think Van liked the fact that we just got dug into the music, Van wasn't enamored of anybody's persona. He was in love with anybody that could really dig into it and get it on. And he was great, holy cow.
I like how... I'm sorry, say again.
He did a song called, I don't know what the exact title is, and I've never been able to find it. It was called it went, Now You've Got the Point, Roll Another Joint, and We'll Go Walking in the Queen's Garden.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I know. It was called Walking in the Queen's Garden. That's what it was. And he was singing psychedelic, trippy stuff. La 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 la, bring your panda doll, bring your diddy-dad, bring your this, bring your that, bring your diddy-dee. And then the band kicks in and he goes, now you got the point, roll another joint. Now you got the point, roll another joint. And we'll go walking in the Queen's Garden. Guitar goes, ding, 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 ding. Man, was it good. I've been looking for that song forever. Wanting to do it. That's a them song, another them song we'd love to do. We used to do Gloria, of course, and then we did a couple of other them songs, but I really want to do Walking in the Queen's Garden.
Well, that's a great thing that you just mentioned there. In so many ways, I guess it would be the Majesty would maybe be on the other foot, because in some ways you guys were looking up to them too.
Sure, they were the headliners. I mean, right. They had the hit song. They had Gloria.
That you were covering, right?
When Ronnie the girl said to us, "You're going to be the opening act at the Whiskey. You will play You'll play a set. The headliner will play a set. We turn the house over. You play a set, and the headliner plays a set." I was okay, fair enough. So the first week we're playing with Van Morrison and them and the Doors on the same bill. Amazing,
huge.
It was great, man. So yeah, I've got lots and lots of memories all the way up from the little London Fog Nowhere gig to packed at the Whiskey A Go Go to playing Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I guess like as a final note on that thing, I asked that question because I have this loyal listener, Steve, and he's very generous with historic rock and music information from the islands. And there's a great poster that he sent me, a replica of the poster, rather. It's you. Man, do you look so handsome on this thing. It's April 18th, it's Saturday, 1970, Honolulu International Center. The poster says Norman Greenbaum was your opening act when the Doors... Doors in Honolulu. Any memory of coming here?
No, don't remember that, man. You rarely remember the opening act. That's going on while you're back in the dressing room getting ready.
But I meant more. Do you remember that one trip you guys did to Hawaii with Jim?
Oh yeah, fabulous. Yeah.
Jim like it here?
We stayed at a place on Waikiki, a little place called the Hawaiiana. Hey, Dorothy, what's the name of that place we stayed in Hawaii, that little two-story place?
Could have been the Hawaiiana.
The Waikikian. It's not there anymore. But it was a little, really Hawaiian style, just a little two-story, like long huts divided into rooms. Oh, man, the Mai Tais, and, stepped off the plane and smelled the air of Hawaii. The flowers were in the air. Holy cow.
Yeah, I remember that. You always liked the air. Well, that's a great memory that you have then. So you can. And Jim appreciate Hawaii? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Everybody did, I mean, who doesn't? The drinks are the best. Jim appreciated the drinks more than he should have, unfortunately. Yeah, you've had enough there. Don't have any more Mai Tais, for God's sake. Okay, well, I'll have a Planter's Punch. No, nothing with rum in it. Nothing with rum and sweet juices. Yeah, it's a divine place. It's blessed. It's a blessed place upon planet Earth. You guys are very lucky to be there.
Translucent Blues, we're very lucky you're coming to support it in the islands, Ray, and I hope you know that we appreciate you taking the time to come back. We know you're getting paid, but it's always nice to have you visit the islands. And
it's nice to be there, man, and it's like a free trip.
Exactly right. I mean, like you said, Hawaii. What could be wrong with this?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be away in Australia when you get here, so I'm going to give you over the phone my hug and my high five. And
thank you, bro.
Wish you.
Well, have a good time in Australia. Hi, this is Ray Manzarek of the Doors. You're going to have a good time this afternoon. You're listening to Dave Lawrence. Hi, this is Ray Manzarek of the Doors. You're going to have some fun this afternoon. You're listening to Dave Lawrence on All Things Considered, NPR Radio, Hawaii.
Thank you, Brother Ray. I appreciate it. I give you
man.
A high five, and hope you had fun today.
Sure did, yeah. A lot of fun. Take care, dude.
You too. Be safe, brother.
Bye-bye.
Aloha.